This is a Motherland America magazine production.
Saying that there's filth coming out of blues music. You say blues is filthy music. Blues is filthy music. Then you're turning around, going to Hollywood, which is the center and the manufacturer of filth to the world, and you're smiling because you got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and you don't even have the class to do like Muhammad Ali and say, look, put that on the wall. But I ain't nobody walking on my name on the sidewalk. Muhammad Ali is the only star to have their star on the wall. So these are the type of things, Edna, that I'm talking about. So when I hear, oh, I'm the only one who did it, first ever. Oh yeah, I'm coming for you. And I hope distance and time is an illusion. I just told him that the ancestors are not going to appreciate him lying like that on Turtle Island. So it's only going to be a matter of time before NAAIP gets really confronted by some people saying, look, okay, you're talking about Bureau of Indian Affairs. Bureau of Indian Affairs is not mandatory. Only reason one Indian has to go through Bureau of Indian Affairs is if they want fiat.
Oh.
Or they want to get a casino. Because if you go through Bureau of Indian Affairs, you're considered what? A land of the U.S. government. That is contrary to the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. It's contrary to the UN Charter. It's contrary to the UN Declaration on Human Rights. So the thing is now bringing the fact that the original indigenous are us and mixing it with the term Native American. That is the problem. And then the ones who are the Hollywood Indians are going to have a problem with it because I'm saying, okay, according to these Caucasian philosophers, these Caucasian explorers, Caucasian artists, when they were drawing paintings of Indians in America, they don't look like what's in Hollywood.
Mm-mm.
They look like you.
Oh, yeah.
They look like you. So if they look like you and you call yourself black, which is no nationality, not a race, not a culture, not a language, not an origin, not anything, that means you are nothing. So now, who is really wrong for damaging black people? Is it the police? Is it the state? Is it the country? Is it the corporation? No, black people. And then the devil will say, look, we gave you all the information and you said nothing. So therefore you agree to these terms of indefinite servitude.
Mm.
There's a law of 1840 called the Negro Act of 1740 and then goes into 1840. So if you look at the South Carolina Negro Act of 1740, it says the only free Africans were the Egyptians, the Moors, and the Lascars. Those are the only ones that are considered free. But they said Negro is a perpetual slave.
Yeah.
To take Negro and Barack replace it with African American is a confession that, yes, he just kept you all in the corral. And he can't do nothing about it because he is under a short leash.
Mm.
He's a figurehead. He is related to Bush. He is related to Clinton. He is related to the Bush family and the Carter. All the presidents are related. So he is related to them. So who is he going to show more priority and favoritism to? His family. So therefore, the question begs, is Barack even human? Wow. Because we know Bush and we know Bush, Clinton, and them is not human. We know Hillary Clinton has clones, and that's already been documented that she was at an event in Washington, and while she was in an event in Washington, there was a simultaneous event happening in Virginia, And they said, how is she at two places at two different events at the same time?
Interesting.
So the first three stages are the SF-181, the statutory declaration, I assist with that. The statutory claim, I assist with that. No fiat. I don't ask anybody for any fiat or nothing. All those steps are free. It's not costing them anything. When it comes time now to become a secure party, yes, a donation is required for that. Because now, I have to prove. How I know what's going on with a lot of different groups, for example, like the Moorish Science Temple, the RV base, is because the people in those groups have legal issues and those guys disappear. They can't find them. Taj, or Ravana, or who's the other one? Or Pleasant Bay, or Ali Muhammad. They can't find any of these guys when they get in serious trouble. But somehow they seem to find my phone number and call me. And then I tell them straight up, why are you calling me for? Why? And then they get kind of taken aback. Well, I can't reach Taj. It says, hey, you contracted with them. You got their paperwork, and if you filed it in the case, you said that what they gave you was facts. So if you did not do your due diligence and filed it in a case, and now you know it's not, what you have to do is do an affidavit. Affidavit is not required if you have no contract with any of those groups. Because they give out a nationality card, they give out nationality. I said, that's all garbage. I said, that can't help nobody in no court case. One guy down in Florida, Chaz Bay, he's on Facebook. He used SF-181 in a court case to get his race and ethnicity changed from black to white. The judge in Orange County, Florida, signed off on the order, got the clerk to come from downstairs, upstairs, stamp it on his paperwork. The clerk also signed and stamped HR 194 on the first page. The clerk also stamped and signed the iPad. The clerk also stamped and signed his SF-181. And the 13th Amendment with 20 sections, which is the crappy one because it was retyped. But however, they are aware black has no standing at law. So I don't understand how people who claim that they are educated cannot see this, because then I have to say, well, either that individual is a double unit body, a clone, robot, mentally dead. That's the only way, because when Barack, and I tell people this, when you're explaining something to somebody and they say, oh, you're saying that? No. Barack Obama said the word has no standing at law. That is code to say, keep calling yourselves black and you will forever be enslaved. And that's all that I can do for y'all. If you call yourself black.
Wow.
So 1 minute, the president, 1 minute people are complaining about the government, then the next minute they're saying, you got to follow what the government say. Well, the U.S. Department of Education is the one that's pushing the iPads and the one that signed off and endorsed it. The Secretary of the Education, John King Jr., he considers himself black and Puerto Rican. And so I did a meme with Baby Breeze from Sesame Street and him when he was the acting secretary before he got the full gig. And so what ended up happening was the U.S. Department of Education took down the iPads and canceled the link. And the reason they canceled the link, they made it bigger. That's why it's 2 pages. Before it was really tiny. So it wasn't tiny, but it all fit on 1 page. You could blow it up and see it. So now it's more legible in the 2-pager that you got from me, Edna. Mm-hmm. So now when you see it, you're like, okay, at the bottom left it says National Center for Education Statistics, U.S. Department of Education. So the United States is a federal corporation, and the Department of Education, which should really be the Department of Programming, is the one that is saying, well, this is how we are defining race. So when Raven-Symoné said what she said, and people got upset, she's just trying to be white. What the hell? The little kid turned white anyway, so what's the problem?
True.
Secretly, with the pressure that Nubians are under, this is what you all want to be anyway. So now, here it is, the government helped you out, admitted the genocide against you, because that's what they've done with that form. That SF-181 form violates every law on the planet. Because they're supposed to tell the mothers, but they can't do it because they are representative of what? A corporation. So, this here is inanimate, correct?
Yes.
So when an individual who represents an inanimate organization, it's artificial, fictitious, it's not real, it's dead, it can't move unless I put my hand to it or a human puts their hand to it, it can't move. When somebody representing this wears the uniform, they are an extension of a dead entity. So that is a traverse for them to say, ma'am, you need to make sure that you have yourself marked off as white because that's what you are. No, they can't do that. What they can do, though, is look at you and make a visual determination of what your race is. So if you don't do the SF-181 and run into a conflict, the code enforcers or the public officials can look at you and say, yeah, she's black. I don't understand. It's like the story. Was it Hans Christian Andersen with little kid? She's the king. The king's naked. What's the matter with y'all? He's not wearing no clothes. The emperor has no clothes.
Wow.
I have a question.
Yes.
From the time of submission of the SF-181, what's the rough idea of the turnaround before everything is completed?
What? Say what?
I think from the time of the initiation of the process,
Yes.
about how much time does it take before the process is completed?
What, the SF-181?
Yes.
Well, the SF-181 is instant. That's faxed to the Office of Management and Budget. Once you do that, your commercial status, that's it. If somebody, for example, wanted to go through all the first 3 steps, they could do it in a week. Some could do it in a day. It all depends how fast they want to move. But when you fax that SF-181 and then you publish that for the world to see, it's a wrap at that point.
Okay.
Because you're going to start saying, if you have a Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, I just did my SF-181, I am white. I'm so glad I am white. Black is whack. Black is crack. Black is a trap.
Yeah. Do you have any more questions, Ron?
No, not for me.
Okay, so I think we're going to try to wrap this up, but I probably will be talking to you again after I get through all of the documents that you sent, because you sent a whole lot of information.
Yes, that's more than what HEMOC did. HEMOC just sat there and talked for 90 minutes. I said anybody can do that. I've seen enough people do that. Your silent suit and SETI, I want you, like I said, I don't. What is the newspaper or the magazine that you publish?
It's called Motherland America.
Motherland America?
It's a digital magazine.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I just want to know so I have that in my reference point in my CPU. And like I said, a lot of people are being told stuff. It sounds sweet. It sounds beautiful. And then I asked them, did you check into that? They said, well, I thought maybe. I said, no, you don't have time for that anymore. Somebody said something, they better prove it. That's why I went out of my way, so you can see me.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have a visual. I'm not afraid to put my face up there. I'm not afraid for my appellation to be mentioned. I'm not, and I would ask that when you put my appellation, make sure you put registered copyright trademark after the appellation. Because it is copyright and trademark. And so unauthorized use is $750,000 times quadruple damages per unauthorized use.
Wow.
This is the level, because that falls in line with the World Intellectual Property Organization. Indigenous peoples have a right to protect their property. All these black kids and black people are complaining about our culture is being appropriated. Black is not a culture. All you are an unregistered or an unprotected source of creativity, which the leper supremacy system can use to siphon and make billions of dollars. They just admitted that that Jack Daniels got their formula for whiskey from a black slave. So this means we are, like in the Matrix, the actual creative batteries. And for whatever sadistic reason, we decided, I'll have their family for eons be rich, and this family be rich, and that family be rich. Oh, this is wrong how they do this. This is wrong. No, the universe has already explained to us. People, we're not at the point where we were not educated, we couldn't read. We can read. And you call yourself like somebody you can't stand that's really messing with you. Well, I'm a white woman, so you better just check yourself and watch them look at you cockeyed, and then they won't say anything. That word white is a universal word of power. It is a universal word of power. And so what that means is by you saying white, I am white, white is right, all of a sudden you are creating that, you are sending out that signal of positivity, of prosperity, and then you are going to start attracting positive just by the use of the word. I have, he's a dean at a high school in Chicago. He has done the SF-181, and when he has detention, he teaches the boys about the SF-181 and gave them the form and said, now take that home to your parents and and explain this to your parents. And that's 935 students. I also have another woman down in Alabama. She's aware of it. She teaches at a school. I just got another guy. He's in, I think he's in St. Louis. He is just started a job. He's also a teacher. He said he's going to be teaching his students about the SF-181. And when I sent you that email, all U.S. colleges know that SF-180, know that black has no standing about since 2008. Let's get something clear. 1997 was when the race and ethnicity was changed. Then in 2008, the U.S. Department of Education got on the universities because they said you all are not collecting the data and doing this properly. So that's why you got that report from 2008, which is called Final Guidance from the U.S. Department of Education. So from 2008, we're what? 2016, that's 8 years. Then from 07 to 2008 is 11. So that's what, 19 years?
Yeah.
19 years that the U.S. government has told you all are white, but we'll put it in front of your face and you all will not see it and will still claim to black. This goes back to the 5 monkeys, Stockholm Syndrome, and the Stanford Prison Experiment. Meanwhile, you've got rappers saying white car, white chick, white whip, white house, everything white. Lil' Kim made herself white. Pepper from Salt and Pepper now got her hair blonde. So how are they going to wear this? That is serious mental illness. How are you going to wear that and then say you're black but your hair is dyed white? Well, I can wear whatever I want. Well, white is a melanin recessive and genetically recessive trait. That's why you find albinos in nature and they don't get the mate. Because you want to know who's the biggest racist?
Who?
Huh?
Oh, I said who, and you were about to say Mother Nature. I was saying who, but then you were about to say Mother Nature, weren't you?
robins do not mate with the sparrows. The swans do not mate with the cranes. The alligators do not mate with the tigers. The tigers do not mate with the lions. The lions do not, or alligators, the crocodiles. The tigers do not mate with the jaguars. The cougars do not mate with the lynxes. So all the so-called animals, which are, yes, we're head of the animal kingdom, they honor the law of Mother Nature. So when Nubians talk about we need to get back into our own state of mind, our own environment, then call yourself Cherokee, call yourself Choctaw, Yamasee, Chickasaw, Caribou, Garifuna, Arawak, Diné. Call yourself that. That is in tune with the universe. But when you call yourself black and it's a crayon and it's the spine is evil and swarthy, then you're sending a negative frequency out to the universe, and the universe is only giving you what you give it. And on top of that, the universe is like, you're not black, okay? And I told somebody this the other day. I said, did you ever stop to think? And they were amazed. Okay, in the last 2 weeks, you see all these black men getting shot, killed, etc. I said, Nubians want to talk about the ancestors. Did the thought ever occur to you that the ancestors are speaking to you all through these deaths to let you know you're not black? And since you don't want to listen, we will kill you for you to learn. Meanwhile, Barack Obama, who's the president, a CEO, and he's fake, he's illegal like a Mexican. He is illegal. He's born in what you call it, not Hawaii, in Kenya. He went to school in Indonesia. I got his birth certificate. I got his school records. I got all that stuff. His passport, he's got a World Service passport before he got the U.S. passport. Then there's even talk that he is actually a time traveler. So when you have somebody like him saying black has no standing at law, okay, regardless of that, he told the truth. The whole thing is herein lies the truth. The word Black Tom has no standing at law. Now, why is it we can't find the recording from Tom Joyner's show when Barack said it? Because the picture, you may have seen that on Facebook, both of you, where they show these old white men, pardon me, forget that, scratch, old Caucasian men, Amorite men, sitting down at a table like a board game, and the Nubians are bent over, and the table is on their backs. Mm-hmm. And the saying is, okay, when we stand up, the game is over. Well, what's the game on Nubian? Having them call themselves black, knowing black has no standing at law. The Dred Scott decision has never been overturned. The Constitution ain't even, you can't use the Constitution in courtrooms anyway, because the judges are allowed to wear the Constitution. So let me tell you something about the case with Terry Hatcher, Judge Hatchett, and the brother who got shot, and she's representing the family. She ain't gonna win that case. That's gonna get settled out of court. Because the instant Terry Hatchett or Judge Mathis or Judge Joe Brown or any of these black judges start saying you have constitutional rights, they're lying. And I know a lot of them, to get those positions, they have to be part of a sorority. The black Greeks, bunch of nonsense. Straight up. Because when the Michael Brown stuff jumped off, what did they do? Omega Psi Phi wrote a letter, a national letter to tell all the not the franchisees, you might as well call them franchisees, but to tell all the different chapters not to wear their insignias when protesting. So that's not about it's not about freedom at this point. There's too much information. The SF-181 is the key, the doorway. It unlocks all the remedy that Nubians are seeking. And they got to be smart enough to say, okay, even the ICAT said that the categories do not denote scientific definitions of anthropological origin. Then it said that then they changed the word from categories. It said the designation are for U.S. citizens, which is a corporation, resident aliens, another corporation, and other eligible non-citizens. Because here's the flip side. Black has no standing at law, then that means y'all can't try us for anything. Do you realize that means the entire prison system is collapsed now at that point?
Yep.
Because if I can't be heard, then you can't try me. If I have no standing and no rights and no protection, then you cannot come at me, because that is called a traverse, going from the artificial world into the flesh and blood world. And there's a matter called honoring the planes of existence. So, what did he say? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas?
Yeah.
So the same rules apply. If black has no standing at law, then you have no jurisdiction over black. But since black doesn't exist, then there's nothing there to contest. You follow?
Mm-hmm.
So I just want it to be known when you publish this that, I'm very adamant. I went to post-secondary, went to, community college, so I'm familiar with this, and I see that if they want to stop the matrix, if people are going to go protest, and I had a brother in Baltimore off of Facebook, he volunteered when the Freddie Gray stuff jumped off. He said, this is messed up, because at first it was Michael Brown, then it went to Freddie Gray, and I said, okay, now it's in your backyard. You need to run off some of the SF-181s, go out and talk to people, and tell people that if they're going to protest, start telling these newbies to do what? Fill out the SF-181 with the attachments and fax it in and start calling themselves white, and watch what happens. He couldn't do it. He started making excuses, it's too hard. I was like, man, forget that. I'm not dealing with no mortals. We did deity only. The same newbies who say we're descendants of kings and queens, we're the gods. No, the gods step forward. God knows what to do. God does it. God has the ability to respond. And the response has been put out there. I put the challenge out there. We have UPR reports against the United States. Were mentioned in Clyde Ledbetter and Molete Asante's book, At-sik-hata Nationist, Africana and Africology. We're recognized internationally. Next to these guys is a bunch of Negroes masquerading as either Moors, masquerading as indigenous, nothing but a bunch of house Negroes wanting to be free on the plantation, asking Massa, can we please get that 30 acres in the mill over here? We don't want to have to build our own and start from scratch. We like this. That's what the system wants. But at the same time, they're giving a remedy. So I don't feel no way about calling out any of these movie stars, any of these actors, actresses. They know this. When Tay-Dick says he does not want his son to be called black, I know people in Hollywood are listening to our weekly addresses. They're not fooling me. Beanie Siegel. There's a difference between family and relations.
Mm-hmm.
Family is servant of a household. Relations is individuals or people you are related by blood or a common bond. Mm-hmm. So people say, "Greetings, what's up, family? They're doing it to our people." No, I'm quoting their boy Jesus. Their boy Jesus says, "My family are those who do as I do." God is my family. He wasn't even talking about his own mother. Because black Christians, they are the worst. Because when that's presented to them, they are not going to want to hear this. And now you got a pastor who did a video, put the picture and said, that is not Jesus. And it's confirmed that that is, what's his name? Jorge Scott. Yes. So it's confirmed. So when the black Christians are calling on Jesus or that image, they're calling on the spirit of a warmonger. That is channeling negative energy. So as long as that net energy goes to somebody else, they're going to continue to do that because they're getting the benefits of spiritual blood ritual. What you think happening in the Hollywood industry? Snoop Dogg had no business in the game walking. Snoop said, fuck the marching, fuck the talking, y'all niggas, y'all real niggas, holler at me. What y'all want to do? Next minute, he's walking down the LAPD, looking like he was from Murder from the Case from 20 years ago.
Wow.
With the shades on, couldn't see. So when I saw the shades on, I said, I can't see your eyes at a press conference. Everybody, the chief of police from LAPD, they all got their eyes showing. You covering your eyes. You in the game. Why y'all covering your eyes? No, you're not no bad man. Jim Brown was having gangs come to his house to keep the peace. In his own house, as neutral territory. Everybody respected Jim Brown. The gangs respected Jim Brown for that. So now I see Snoop, and in the game when we want to come together and love, no. You got a contract with whatever ritual you have to do. You got a contract, and you got to fulfill that contract. These people, Edna, are not, these black entertainers are not about freedom for no Nubians. Who's buying 80% of the rap music? Caucasian kids. Who's buying 80% of the movie that's either Denzel Washington, Samuel Jackson? Who are they catering to? Caucasian kids. They're a Caucasian audience.
Wow.
So they cannot see a world outside of not saying the word black. Professor goes, oh, I just want the brother to know. Sarah Sutin-Seti, the one they call the general, that punk, he wanted to have a private conversation with me about the SF-181. And I told him, no. You said you wanted a challenge, that you need the best Moor to come forward. And I said, well, I will come forward on Facebook and said, yes, I accept your challenge. Let's do a debate then. Next minute, I hear a month later, a brother on Facebook, he knows us and he knows Sarah Sutin-Seti, calls Sa, who's head of our administration, my mate, and tells her what? That Sarah Sutin-Seti said he don't want to debate nobody no more. That's what went from February into March, or March into April. I said, well, that's not what he said last month. Last month, he said he needed a challenge. Now, a month later, you don't want to debate, but he said he wants to talk with you about the SF-181. Even the brother was telling the man, you're behind. Nubians, Edna, are 18 years, 19 years behind. Their remedy has been sitting there for 19 years, and they haven't taken it because they're still focused on black, so they're still under programming.
Oh, yeah.
White power. White power. White power. It may take some time to get that. Again, the focal point is the definition. So why do you say you're white? This is what the U.S. Department of Education. So that means all the black professors either know or have knowledge they're participating in genocide. All the black PhDs, they know. All the black lawyers, all the black judges, all the black educators, all the black deans, the black principals, they're all guilty of genocide.
Wow.
So you can see why in this last couple of weeks all the shooting has been going on. We sent a IRA complaint for people who had complaints for the working group not doing an efficient job. We sent our complaints directly to Switzerland to the head of the, his name is Saeed Al-Hussein. And he is the head of the UN Office of the High Commission on Human Rights. He also happens to be the Prince of Jordan. So, the Prince of Jordan and all those Middle Eastern countries are tricking women from Ethiopia, Kenya, Somalia, saying, go work in the United Arab Emirates, you can get good work, because there's no work where they're at, so they'll leave and send the money back. The women are ending up in slavery.
Wow.
That's where you see the pictures Some of them end up as prostitutes. Some of them end up as homemaids or home care. And then they get trapped there and they can't leave. And then if the master doesn't like, they go and gang up on and beat them. That's where we're seeing those videos coming from, because the women were tricked into slavery. So when I see stuff like that, and I see what's happening now, the Prince of Jordan, when he's in his official UN capacity, he cannot carry the title. When he's doing UN work. When he's not doing UN work, he's the Prince of Jordan. So I know Jordan, Syria, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, all those, Iraq, Iran, all those so-called Muslim countries, I said, yes, he's doing the same thing they're doing. So as it says in their holy book, the Quran, it says, El-Arab, Ashadu Munafiqun, which means the Arabs of the desert are the biggest concealers of the truth, the biggest of hypocrites.
Wow.
So this is not isolated to only Missouri, Baton Rouge. This is the entire planet. Black has no standing on the planet called Earth. That is the biggest secret that is hidden in plain sight that Nubians cannot see and don't want to see. For some reason, they seem to feel if they let go of black, they're letting go of their identity. No, you're letting go of the faulty programming that you were given. Mm-hmm. Because by their own definition, they're not white. And you know what this also means? On the SF-181 page, it also means that these Caucasians are not human.
Mm. Yeah, I've heard that many times. I've even seen videos where a Caucasian will even go in deep on how they're not.
The Caucasian will what?
They'll go in real deep on how they're not human.
Yes, they'll admit that. That's why bestiality is legal for soldiers in the military. It's not against law for soldiers to have sex with animals in the U.S. military. Wow. That's why in Europe they have animal sex farms now with the, they have the sheep farms that the men can go have sex with the sheep. Then they have it where the men can have sex with the dogs in Germany.
Wow.
And in Canada, up where I'm at, it's all right for people to have sex with animals as long as there's no insertion.
Yeah. Okay.
They're not hiding who they are. They're not hiding anything. They don't have to anymore. The thing is, that's racist, and let's all come together. I say come together to do what? And that is why I got on the UN they have a conference coming up in November for youth. And they want youth to be part of the decision-making process. I said, well, you're going to have to tell the black youth that they're not black, because they're going to think that they have a voice and they're part of, the process, when in fact they'll just say, okay, yeah, let them talk for a bit, whatever. Okay, you done now? And that's it. That's fraud. So that's another reason why I got on the working group. And I said, you guys are full of it. I did a weekly Word 12 where we talked about that. And I did that while we were doing our weekly address. So people can see this is not only me, it's all the people that's on our address that we do privately now know. And for the world to see, the UN Working Group, you're full of it. You're full of it. You're hypocrites. You're participating in genocide. And they have to be called out on it. And it's amazing, the so-called black media, useless. Useless.
Yep.
All I see is a bunch of Negroes that want to stay on the plantation and live comfortably, and they only get mad when something happens, because the concern, and it took a while, and it's amazing. The only time you hear anything from these stars is they're afraid that Nubians out in the field is going to do something, because even though they're making $20 million a picture, the Amorites or the Caucasians that they're hanging around are still not comfortable with them. Steve Harvey could talk all that nonsense. He's still not. He has to walk on shells to assure these people that you have nothing to fear with me. That can be. I'm sure that can be very neurotic. So when stuff happens out in the street, they're scared because the people that they hang around with don't look at them and say, is he going to flip out? Or is she going to go crazy? Then watch her.
Wow.
This is why you never find Cat Williams in his position to be working.
Wait, say that again?
Because Cat Williams is dropping it now.
Oh.
If Cat Williams would have did his SF-181, that's a different story, and he looks like he's intelligent enough to do it. But the thing is, who knows what contracts he's under? That's number one. Number two, the next one is you have your Chris Rocks, your Chris Tuckers, a lot of them. It's the same thing with them. And do they really want freedom or do they want fiat? Which is it?
I think they want fiat.
Okay, then they deserve the consequences of agreeing to that contract. They can stay black. Cool. I'm white. I have a 5-year-old right now that I can call in Connecticut. I can call him right now and have a conversation with him. And if I say, are you black? He says, no, I'm not. I'm white, an American Indian, 5-year-old. Meanwhile, we talk, I gotta let you know this. This is important. It's going to really make your article. Spoke with the brother who wrote Avatar. The one who's currently in litigation with James Cameron.
Oh, wow.
So we explained the SF-181 to him, why he should do it. It's going to give him standing at law. He's doing some pro se stuff. He's familiar with law, but where I was like, look, man, you bringing up the Constitution, that's not going to matter in their civil suit, and the judges can have the right to avoid it since 2011, January 18, 2011. There's a video of a judge in New Jersey voting in court on the record saying, no, I'm voiding the Constitution. So that's proof. No constitutional rights for quote-unquote blacks. And so I was explaining it to him. I told him, I said, look, I've spoken with Sophia Stewart, who wrote The Matrix. So I'm telling him, like, look, man, I'm like, don't think that you're just having a regular conversation. This is a high-level discussion you're having with me, and we're on a whole different level. So I thought because he was a writer, he would be open-minded. And I was like, if he does go for this, he could put the complaint of the lawsuit send it to our authorized representative of our nation in New York and put it in the box and send it off to Switzerland, which would have been major because we're like, yes, this is the guy who wrote Avatar and is suing James Cameron. That's what caused James Cameron to stop production of Avatar 2 because he filed the lawsuit. He's got the record of him sending the script to James Cameron. He's got the receipt. He has everything to prove that Avatar is his movie. The script is his.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't see the SF-181. He couldn't see the importance of filling it out.
Wow.
I was stunned. I could not believe it. And the brother who knows him, who was at the UN on our behalf, and he is, I train him, and he, any international events he goes, and eventually he's going to be joining At-sik-hata anyway. He was like, he couldn't believe it. I said, man, I tried. I did my best. I stayed patient with the brother. I can't believe he could not see this, and he's supposed to be a writer. Because that would have been a major, that would have gave him credibility, that would have gave us super, and that, yes, we got the brother who wrote Avatar to have his complaint with the UN Office of the High Commission on Human Rights, and the brother couldn't see see that. So I just want you to know, like I said, between him, John Legend, Azalea Banks, who's the other one? David Banner, who else? Professor Griff, Sarah Susan Taylor, Andre, all these people know. So I don't particularly care. They're saying by their actions they want to be Negroes, they want to be mortals, they want to be mistreated, so they must be into sadomasochism. Fine, I accept that. White power. The solution is that I know what it is. The simplicity has got so many people. This is all I have to do? Yes. Publish it, fax it, start calling yourself white. When you're doing business, white, or white and American Indian. And if they say, look, you can only check off one race, and white. Doesn't take away from your indigenousness. White is for the purposes of what? Commerce and contracts.
Mm-hmm.
That has nothing to do with your heritage. If your mother said you're Cherokee, that has nothing, does not take away from that. But the thing is, business is business. So in a business capacity, you want the best status. The code for white from the Center of Disease Control is 101. When you watch The Matrix, Neo was in apartment 101. When you see the Merovingian, he had the code 101.
Wow. Well, I'm going to finish reviewing all of the information that you sent me, and I'll probably give you a call back after that. It probably won't be until later on in the week. And we'll just go through some more details once I'm clear on this, and then we'll have another conversation. Did you have anything else you wanted to add, Ron?
I just wanted to say that really calling myself white was too much of a stretch for me, because even as a child, I often wondered why everything negative was called black. You got black balls, black lipstick, that sort of thing. Everything negative is black. And this has gone a long way towards helping me see that I was black.
Yeah, the definition is right there. The one who is rubber stamped, as they say, is the U.S. Department of Education. That's it. It ain't about skin color. It's about what status, what commercial status do you have? That's what that's about. And this is delicate, and I want you to know that this is delicate, because if you explain this to some people, they may have a problem with it. So you have 2 minutes. If they can't get it within 2 minutes, then you talk about football, basketball, what's your name? Talk about Amber Rose or something else, but don't be talking about this, because you can see they can't handle it. Maybe sometime down the road they may swing around. So you don't want to write them off, and so it's like they can't come talk to you, but they know, like, look, if this intellectual level comes, you got to elevate. If you're not going to elevate your mental, I'm not even going to mess with you. I don't even want to talk to you, because it's nothing important. It's all bases and warriors. So 2 minutes. That's what I suggest. I don't care if it's friend, family, mother, father. 2 minutes. If they start seeing, and you can see the sparks go off in between the temples, you're like, okay, this is too much for them. They can't handle it. System overload. Move on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, give me some of that. You say, Mama, give me some of that cornbread.
Wow. Okay, unless there's something you wanted to add, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Did you want to end with anything, or?
I end with this. I want to give gratitude to the ancestors, to the all, for us having this conversation, because we had a healing fire ritual that we do, and the next day is when you made the phone call, and I almost didn't pick up the phone, because I didn't hear it, and then when I looked at it, I said, well, 910, I know some people who I trained who are in North Carolina, and they're in Fayetteville, so I was trying to, I thought that was them, so I picked up the phone, and it happened to be you. So I just want to give gratitude and appreciation being able to give you the full answer. This is one of the solutions for those not only in what they would call America, South America, they're going through the same problem and really getting on the South Americans. I call them El Negro, and making fun of them and calling them monkeys, and they're doing the minister TV programming this day. Like as we speak, they're doing that in South America. Forget the sister, I think she was either Miss Panama or Miss Columbia, was too dark, and then she ended up losing her crown because of it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not isolated to where you're at or where I'm at. This is worldwide. So I just want to give gratitude and appreciation to that. Like I said, 2 minutes that you give with the people, and then if not, you move on to somebody else. It's not something that is like, okay, let's everybody do this, because some people you're going to be, like I said, the brother from Avatar shocked me. I was so looking so forward to having it say, we got the brother from Avatar, so he'll have an international voice, and he just couldn't see it. Mm-hmm. So that's just how it is. So just keep me posted as to when your digital publication is going to be out, and all of the data and the links and everything that I put are there. So I'll just give you an opportunity to. It's a lot of information. I have a tendency to download a lot because it's rare, and a lot of people. This SF-181 will shut down the matrix. It'll change the economic system on the planet. It's going to have African Americans will now be seen and honored and treated with respect.
Mm.
And all the people who were into the civil rights movement and whatnot, it's over for them. They're done. They can't provide any solution. This form from the government is the solution. You have to be international, and the only way that's going to happen is doing your SF-181, claiming your indigenous standing, and being knowledgeable of international law. And with that, I'd like to appreciate and thank you and the brother for showing up, and I look forward to your publication.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. If you have any questions, during the week that you want to ask, don't hesitate to contact me.
Okay, thank you so much for everything.
Yeah, thank you for your time.
You're quite welcome. You'll have a pleasant day. Hotep Yulansky team. That means peace to you all. Have Yud Gadur, have Yud Gadur, have Yud Gadur. That means white power, white power, white power. Hotep.
Hotep.
Okay.
Oh, can I get a copy of this recording?
Yeah, I'll email it to you. This has been a Motherland America magazine production. Thank you for listening and viewing.